Greetings, viewers. Night at Eye here, bringing you some of my Foxy thoughts. So, this month Disney Plus put all 5 seasons of The Muppet Show on their site. For old school Muppet fans like me, this is pretty great because, again, old school Muppet fans like me wanted Disney to put out DVD collections of all 5 seasons. But Disney was unable to due to copyright issues with some of the musical numbers. The Muppets have been one of those properties that Disney's never seemed to know what to do with or have just underutilized. The 2011 movie, its sequel, and the 2015 TV series seemed to be the only times Disney tried to put the Muppets back in the public eye. Of course, you know what I'm going to be talking about. The content disclaimer warning on some of the episodes. This program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, I feel I have to put emphasis on that due to what I'll talk about later, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Now, I grew up with the Muppet Show, and just because it holds a nostalgic place in my heart, that doesn't mean I'm going to deny that there were stereotypes on the show. The Kenny Rogers episode had the plot where the mineral rights to the guest star's dressing room had been sold to Arabs, and yes, the depictions of said Arabs can be seen as offensive. I can also understand why the episodes with Jonathan Winters and Peter Sellers are on the list of episodes that have this disclaimer warning, because in the Jonathan Winters episode, the show has a gypsy curse put on it, and Peter Sellers performs a gypsy song when he was on the show, and the word gypsy can be offensive to the Romani people. Though if I may play devil's advocate, there is nothing inherently wrong with playing around with stereotypes, as long as there's no malicious intent behind it, and I doubt there was when the show originally aired. For example, going back to the Kenny Rogers episode, the stuff with the Arabs was the B plot, and it barely factored into the episode. The Arab characters having only like 4 scenes in that episode. The episode with Johnny Cash is on the list, because you can see the Confederate flag in the background of the onstage performances. Some of these episodes, though, I have no idea why they're on the list. I thought the Joan Baez episode was pretty wholesome. Maybe it's here because one of the lyrics in the song Lost Lullaby mentions the singer losing her virginity, or maybe it's because the opening number is a parody of Man Smart, Woman Smarter. I don't know, I like Gary Belafonte music. The Debbie Harry episode also seemed pretty wholesome, mainly because it focused on Robin and the Frog Scouts. Maybe it's too because Debbie sang 2 of her signature songs. There are, however, some episodes that aren't on the site at all. Chris Langham was a writer for The Muppet Show, and basically stood in when they couldn't get a guest star for that week. Years later, it was discovered that Chris possessed CP. So no, I'm not going to blame Disney for not wanting his episode on their platform, no matter how funny it might have been. The disclaimer on some of the episodes isn't that much of an issue for me, but I have seen videos talking about this that I do take issue with. Some videos just comment on the disclaimer, while WBAL Radio claims Disney is trying to force political correctness, and the video by Altiori just sort of goes off on a few unrelated tangents that made me ask myself, are we still talking about the Muppets before it was over? And then we have this tweet from Donald Trump Jr. claiming the Muppet Show has been cancelled because of liberalism. Yes, let's take this fairly trivial thing, spread misinformation about it, all for the sake of sparking political outrage, like father like son. Overall, I just felt like talking about this because I grew up with the Muppet Show and still care about it. This is Night at Eye saying thanks for letting me share my thoughts. Please share yours with me.
Well, I'll say this for them.
What's that?
They don't show favoritism. They offend everyone.